Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing the exosomes 8 months post update. I think it's 8 months. I think this is closing in on month 8. So we're getting to the end of September. I am 5 days early. So this is September 20, what, 25, 25th, because there's only 5 more days left of September. So it is a little bit early, but there are some scheduling things. My family was supposed to be, I think they're supposed to go to Disneyland this Tuesday. So I was planning on filming it on Tuesday, which would have been 3 days before the month ends. But they're not going anymore. We're having another heat wave this week here in Southern California. So they canceled their plans, and I just want to make sure that, I just like filming these when I'm by myself, because then I can speak freely and talk about, whatever's going on, which not much went on this month. So what has been going on? This past week, I've had arm pain. I've had persistent arm pain for probably at least a week. It feels almost like when you sleep, like when you fall asleep on one side, like you fall deeply asleep, and then you wake up and your arm hurts because you slept on it the whole night. It kind of feels like that, and it's been mostly my left arm, so I don't know if maybe that is what's happening. I do want to say I have been sleeping better. In August, I did report that I was sleeping through the night. Literally, I think the entire month of August, I was getting 8 months, at least 7 to 8 hours consecutive sleep, not getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. So doing well. Sorry, I'm writing down notes because as I'm talking, I'm coming up with other things that happened this month. So that has been happening, and it's like my arms, but also my pectoral muscles. So I don't think it is because I am sleeping on the arm. I think it's just some kind of physiological process, I guess. I really am not sure, because as some of you have seen in my other updates that I've been giving you guys here on this playlist, I did speak with the scientist and my doctor, and I don't know if they just don't know what's going on, but they are just not explaining things to me. So I'm just kind of guessing here. By the way, I know I look kind of gross. I didn't really put on any makeup. I wanted to film this as soon as possible because I had a little bit of alone time this morning. So yeah, I've been having the arm pain. I did have leg pain as well. Like soreness, heaviness, tension in my legs. My feet also, like, typically, I go for a walk every day, or at least when it's not hot. My daily exercise is stretching and going out for a walk. I walk at least 40 minutes. And I've never really noticed soreness in my feet or in my legs when I'm walking. Even when I go to the swap meet, and I do a lot of walking at the swap meet, and I've never really noticed, like, I never came home and said, oh, my legs hurt and that kind of thing. And this month, I definitely got a lot of that. Sorry, there's like birds outside. Hopefully you guys can hear me well. Let me see if I can move this closer. I definitely, like, my legs, I was like, what is going on? Like, I never come back from the swap meet that sore, or with my feet kind of hurting and achy, or with my legs feeling tired. And I've even gotten that after my walk, which again never happens. I have had, like, in the past, like, my muscles would twitch when I would come home from my walk. Like, all of my muscles would be like, like kind of like ants. It's really weird. I do remember having that on and off a few years back. But really, I don't recall, because if my legs hurt that much, or, I mean, it's not excruciating pain, but if my legs were sore like that consistently day after day after day, I would probably be like, you know what? I might want to take it easy on the walk. I don't recall, like, feeling, I don't recall recalling that. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't stand out to me prior to this, probably to this month. And I do know that when I started the exosomes, I remember telling you guys, I think in the first month, I had like a really weird leg cramp while I was driving, just a lot of weird issues. And I think that's just kind of I don't know, there's just something going on with my extremities. So the leg thing happened, and then I think the legs seem to have stopped doing that. Because I did go to the swap meet yesterday, and I have been going for my walk. I mean, I think this week my legs were still a little sore, but I have noticed that it's been more my arm, particularly my left arm, and it's been about a week. And so I'm just guessing that whatever this issue is, it's just kind of migrating from my legs to my arms. I have also had neck pain and stiffness and tightness. And that also kind of leads to head issues and that kind of thing. And I've noticed that this month. So it could be like a joint pain type of situation. Today my arm feels like a little bit better, but I don't know. Again, I still have one more week to go. So yeah. Still sleeping okay, as I mentioned. It's been a little bit more mixed this month. I feel like I might be struggling to fall asleep, or I have been sleeping a little bit more lightly because little things have been waking me up, like the dog. You know, I do have the dog in my room. She's been moving around. I mean, she's been having issues as well, so she's been having arthritis, and I've been having to keep an eye on her. You know, but my sleep is still better. I haven't been having, only I think with my PMS this month I did have the insomnia again, but I got on top of it with Benadryl and and uh and kept it from getting too bad. And after, you know, the whole hormonal thing passed, my sleep seems to be okay. I have been waking up a little bit earlier, because before I think I was sleeping straight through the night. I usually go to bed around 10:30, sleeping through the night until 7, around 7 a.m. Now it's kind of been a little bit different. I wake up like maybe 6, maybe 6:30. Sometimes I have had a few nights where I've woken up like at 5:30 in the morning, but still getting that consecutive sleep. And so I'm kind of grateful for that. Actually, this morning, as a matter of fact, you know, I noticed that I struggled to fall asleep last night, but then suddenly I just got really sleepy. That's another thing I'm noticing. I'll struggle, like I feel kind of like I'm struggling, and then suddenly just get very sleepy and like pass out. It's really weird. Almost like what happens to me when I take Benadryl, because that's usually what happens with Benadryl. Like I won't feel anything, and suddenly like I'm waking up the next morning. And I'm noticing that that's like I won't feel tired or something, or I'll be struggling to sleep, and then suddenly I become very exhausted and I just fall asleep. And that happened last night. And this morning, you know, I struggled last night, and I was like, why am I having a hard time falling asleep? And then suddenly just tired, fell asleep. And I saw this morning, and I have a little pill cup thing that I keep on the table, and I put my daily pills in that, and I saw that my melatonin was in there. I forgot to take my melatonin last night. So it's kind of good because, yes, I did struggle to fall asleep, but I did fall asleep, and I did sleep more or less consecutively. I did wake up early today, I think probably around 7ish. But without melatonin, guys, I have not stopped taking melatonin for like 10 straight years. I need to take melatonin to sleep. So that could explain why I struggled to fall asleep, but I still slept. So keeping my fingers crossed that I still see this in the coming months, because sleep is like a big deal. So like I said, PMS, I did have the insomnia this month, did have a lot of ruminations, some of that like agitation and anger, and cramps. The cramps, I want to say, were a little bit worse. Oh, and I also had a lighter period, but again, we're, you know, weight loss. That's another one I'm adding to my list. They're all coming back to me now. I did lose weight. And I think I clocked in at 95 pounds. I think my lowest this month was a little bit under 95 pounds, which is very concerning to me. And it's making me panic a little bit. But that could be the reason for the lighter period. Probably is the reason. And then of course having that increased cramping, which is worrying me a little bit, but it didn't seem to linger, because sometimes the cramping can linger for like into the next day, and it didn't really seem to do that. I still seem to be able to control it with Advil, with a small. It's, let me put it this way: it's not my. I'm not at my worst, and I still have a ways to go before being at my worst cramping. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that that does not come back. We did have the compulsive buying issue, and there is a video. I don't think it's gone up yet. If it hasn't gone up yet, it will go up. Compulsive, like, buying of things is a symptom that I've had in the past, and it really did act up this month. And so there will be a video on that with more specifics, because I don't want to go into it here, but I do consider that a symptom, like a psychiatric symptom of my neurological stuff, because it had been a while since I had done that, and it just kind of really kicked up this month. And I think it's kind of on its way down, because I'm just like, stop buying things. This is giving me more anxiety. This past week, I did experience some, I experienced some tightening of the thoracic muscles, like an increase in tightening, and then loosening. And I've had twitching, some loosening. There's been some activity in the thoracic area. It does appear that I am still going back down to baseline. It's very slow. I do feel better than I did several months ago when it was really bad. I don't think I'm at my baseline yet, but it seems like things are still happening in that department. And because things are still happening, I do believe that there's some kind of process going on still in my body from the exosomes, and so I am not doing IVIG. I tried it last month, didn't work out. I'm avoiding it because, there's still something going on in my body, and I don't want it to start cross-reacting. So I'm leaving it alone for now. I'm hoping that this is a good sign as far as my neurological stuff is concerned. I have also experienced like dizzy spells, things like that, which could be part of the light sensitivity issue. But it could also be just maybe dehydration or something, because I was having those weird dizzy spells, like when you move your head and you feel dizzy. I was having that a little bit yesterday, and that's typically associated with dehydration. Speaking of dehydration, last month we had the frequent urination. It might have been last month or earlier this month. I had that frequent urination. I feel like that has come down a little bit, and that was worrying me a lot because, I need fluids in my body. So I think that's on its way down. The hair loss, I also am keeping my fingers crossed, because it did kick up this month quite a bit. Right now, I want to say that it seems to be maybe slowing down a little bit, but we did have that hair loss. I have my hair straightened right now, so you can see that it is a bit thinner. My head has been itching, and that's always like the first sign of I'm going to start losing my hair, when I have that itchiness. And yeah, I do wake up in the morning and I've got a couple strands, falling out and stuff like that. So, I'm hoping that that is slowing down. Like I said, the last few days, it seems to be maybe a little bit less. Sometimes it's hard to tell, like with that, with the frequent urination, it's hard to kind of keep track on it, because it's like, am I doing something, or is it just that, that it's a physiological process? Still, my recurrent infections, keeping my fingers crossed and knocking on wood that they are being held at bay. My stomach, my appetite has been better in the last few weeks. It does still seem to fluctuate, but I have been feeling hungry. Like yesterday, I was feeling really hungry before dinner, and I didn't have anything cooked. And this morning, I did wake up with a little bit of hunger. In the morning is when it counts, because usually I wake up in the morning feeling gross. So that tells me that possibly the SIBO and the SIFO is under control, or it's better control than it was before. But that still seems to be fluctuating. My toe situation, other chronic recurrent infections that I've been having seem to be okay. Keeping my fingers crossed that we are not having, that doesn't come back. But like I said, I can't, unless I see several consecutive months, I cannot say that we have resolved those issues. But keeping my fingers crossed. What else? The weight loss, like I said, is my biggest concern at this point, because I have lost I mean, it's a significant amount of weight because I am not was not big to begin with. Like I said, I clocked in at under 95, slightly under 95 pounds. That was the lowest reading that I got. The last couple of days, I've been getting a higher reading, which is weird, because you don't gain weight that quickly. So I'm thinking it might be water weight. I was either just not retaining water and that affected my weight as well. But I do notice in my clothes. My clothes was feeling significantly looser. Everything was, and it's really scary. So, like I said, my appetite seems to be improving a little bit. By the way, I have incorporated more calories into my diet, which is weird. I found oat milk that I can drink. So that's a little bit of extra calorie. It might not be a ton of extra calories, but it's extra calories. And I'm also incorporating potatoes. I seem to be doing okay with potatoes. At least the little baby potatoes or purple potatoes seem to be doing okay. So I'm trying to incorporate that kind of stuff, more carbs. I eat tortilla chips like it's going out of style. I had that avocado ice cream. I don't know if I did a video on that, but I had that as well. And so it's kind of weird that I'm just like eating all these extra. I'm not eating them all the time. The avocado ice cream is a occasional treat, but there are extra calories in my diet. So I can't understand or explain why, you know, I'm losing weight like this. I feel like it might be water weight, or possibly, like I said, the SIBO and the SIFO. There, if you have a lot of bacteria in your body, I'm assuming that adds to your weight. Um, I've been going to the bathroom better as well. So if I'm emptying out a lot better, I'm probably a lot lighter. So like I said, you're getting rid of bacteria, you're getting rid of a lot of excess garbage in your body. That might be why I'm kind of thinner, because I was noticing my stomach was like very flat. The last few days, I have been noticing a little bit more distension. I did kind of switch up my diet a little bit. I typically don't have chicken breast, and I think for whatever reason, chicken breast does not sit well with me. And I was noticing kind of like weird distension. I don't know. I don't know why chicken breast would do that, because I'm fine with like chicken legs. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. I haven't had those flu-like episodes. Um, like the strong flu-like episodes. I think maybe a few days ago when I was dealing with the arm pain, I did feel kind of tired. And I laid down. I didn't fall asleep. I just laid down for like maybe less than an hour. And then I got up and I actually kind of felt better, which I thought was weird. I think that's just a fluke. Because like I said, it wasn't exactly flu-like symptoms. I was just feeling like tired or kind of off. And I got up and I was like, huh, why do I feel a little bit refreshed? Even though I didn't doze, I just laid there. And that's another thing too that I'm noticing, because I do my relaxations, which are like sort of like meditations, progressive relaxation type of thing. I do 2 of them a day, and I typically would doze with the second one. And even if I'm tired, I feel like I'm struggling to doze. So I don't know if like my body is recalibrating, or because I'm sleeping better through the night, I'm not able to fall asleep during the day. I was never a day sleeper. Prior to my illness, I was never, ever, ever a day sleeper. Could not fall asleep during the day. If I did, it was just an absolute fluke, or I felt really nasty when I woke up. But I was always a great, great night sleeper. I would sleep through the night, never had any issues sleeping through the night. So, yeah, that's just, I think, what I've been noticing. I don't know what else. My skin, you can see my skin. I don't have any makeup on right now. My pores are still looking pretty nice. My nose is still kind of like blackheady, but the pores are still looking okay. The acne is still doing well, although I did have, I think, a little bit of an outbreak, and I think on my chest I also had a little bit of an outbreak. But I mean, I don't know. I can't really tell. I also feel pretty good on my oxygen. Today I'm not on my oxygen. I typically take a break off of my oxygen on the weekends. Yesterday I did well off of my oxygen. Today I am feeling a little bit more tired. A little bit, because I'm not on my oxygen and it's the second day off of my oxygen. But I do feel pretty good on my oxygen. It's been perking me up a bit. And there was a point in my illness, I think even after I started IVIG, where my oxygen was not perking me up in the way that I that it had in the past, and years past. And I feel like it's starting to perk me up a bit. So it's working, I guess, because it wasn't working as well before. um yeah, I think that's it. Excuse me, I'm like burping here. That's what I've got for you guys. That's month, I think, closing in on month 8. So if there's anything else, I guess I can always do another mini little video, but other than that, check out the video where I talk to the scientist. I have 2 videos of that on this playlist. Um, that was very interesting. And if you haven't seen my other videos, check out my other videos. And I will have other upcoming videos, like the one on the compulsive buying and a lot of other stuff that you guys can check out. So I'm trying to film as many videos as I can because I haven't had a lot of alone time. So I try to film whenever I have some free time. So there may not be as many videos. It might just be once a week for a while, but check them out because there might be some important information in there. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next month.